Hi Capricorn, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Judgment card, right? So big shifts and changes taking place this week. Remember, the Judgment card very often shows up when we reach some form of a crossroads in our lives, right? And so you're being called at the moment by life, this week in particular, to action. This is about really, going for it. And also the Judgment card, because it's very much like an end of an era kind of energy. So you're being asked to really close down, end or complete what needs to be, or what you even know is done, right? What cycles and stories of your life are just over? Are you just ready to kind of say, you know what, this is done. I'm ready to be over it. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to be done with this so that I can close out this chapter, so that I can start a brand new one. In all of these different areas of life, you're very likely to be experiencing this. And another way that this will show up as well, the Judgment card is what I have affectionately dubbed as the blast from the past card. We do have a Mercury retrograde at the moment, so this could be anything. This could be a person, a place, a situation, an old job, an old boss, an old lover, an old flame, an old friend could be coming back into your world or into your life this week, and it's likely to be one that makes you go, whoa, haven't seen you, this, that, them, etc. for a while. Now for your actions and options, you've got the Knight of Cups, which means this week you are heeding the call, right? You're getting straight on that front foot and you're going straight in with it. This is about you making offers. This is about you putting yourself out there. And what I love about this is it's like you can feel the Judgment card, and so like your actions and options, what you do in the world, you're literally jumping in to say, okay, you know what, let me make some offers, let me put some things out into the world, and more importantly, let me see where it is that I could really fit in if I diversified what I believed about myself. So this is you really starting to think about the life that you're living now versus the life that you could live if you were able to broaden your horizons in some way. In terms of the options that are available to you, just as you are in that giving mode or mood, it will be coming back at you in the same way, right? So whatever you're putting out into the world, you're getting things in return as well. For your communications and conversations, you have the Emperor, right? So big stuff here. Now, for all of you in some way, shape or form, a father, a boss or an authority figure might sort of show up for you in your world in some way. And it may very well be that you're having conversations with an authority figure that really makes all the difference in some regard. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this is the learning institution that you are a part of, and maybe there's some kind of service or something that you're offering to say, look, you know what, I would like to offer my services or volunteer for X, Y and Z, right? So let's say there's a training, a TA position of some sort. This could be you putting yourself forward for this. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, one way that this may show up for you is, you could find yourself getting really getting really well acquainted with a boss or an authority figure, and through this connection, the Judgment card is a call to action to do something different. You might realize that maybe the reason that you've been clashing with this person or maybe not seeing eye to eye with them is because actually you have a lot in common. Maybe you're more alike than actually you have cared to notice or cared to admit, because things have been so sort of tense between you. But this week could go a long way to you really saying, you know what, let me change my approach to this. Let me bring you something about me that you don't know or something that you're not aware of, and see what kind of a difference that makes. And this maybe softens them to you, because it's like, oh wow, you know what, like I didn't realize that you were into this, or that this was a thing for you, because it's something that I'm really interested in as well. It's like you find some common ground with an authority figure that completely changes the relationship that the two of you have. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is a time for you to really command your sphere of influence. This is a time for you to really go after it. This is effectively, I think, a lot of you put in the final, moving into the final stages, or put in the finishing touches on something that's been like a very big project, almost like a weight around your neck. And this is you kind of saying, okay, you know what, I feel like I'm nearing the end, or nearing completion, but in order to do that, I've really got to step into my power and gain my own expertise. Remember, this card is really about commanding your space in some regard. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for a lot of you. And then when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, it's very possible, especially the guys among you, that you could be stepping into a patriarch kind of role. It's also very possible that you may be, for those of you that are retired, no longer working, maybe you are stepping into an authoritative role of some sort within the family. There's some kind of personal sense of evolution or elevation. For your love and relations, you've got the Six of Wands. So for those of you that have had problems, challenges, or issues in the relationship, this bodes very well for you. Because that Six of Wands suggests that your relationship reaches a really good point this week. There's some kind of positive development in love, especially for those of you that are married. If you've had problems, challenges, or issues, this could go a really long way this week to seeing you kind of not only finding that common ground, but also maybe establishing some kind of direction that you have as a collective. And then for those of you that are single and looking, it's very possible that, like, I always say, like, don't date inside the workplace. That's just me. I'm very much like that, because I've seen it go sour way more times than it's ever gone right. Do you know what I mean? And so this week, it's possible that you and an authority figure, whether through work or some other sphere of your life, could really be hitting it off and realizing that actually there's potentially something there. So if you're single and looking, that's possible. But I will say it's also possible, if you are single and looking, it's likely to be somebody that's in the military, somebody that's like a police officer, someone whose title is their job, but it's more along the lines of sporting and or legal matters than it is, anything else, right? Like, it's likely to be somebody whose job holds them to a higher standard in some regard. So love that. And then finally, for your money and materials, you've got the Seven of Pentacles. So this is a time, like this week would be a really good time to think about your investments, the resources that you have available to you, and also your investments for the long-term future. What are you doing with your money? Where is it going? And more importantly, what has shown itself to give good results, right? This is really about taking stock about how you've grown your money up until now, what's worked and what hasn't, and really phasing out what hasn't. Now, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your neck, your throat, and your thyroid, right? Now, I don't have any problems here because the cards are actually very good. But for those of you that have had chronic health situations, thyroid challenges may very well be where you want to start looking. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. This is not a diagnosis, disclaimer. But if you're going to your healthcare professional, as it looks like some of you might, especially because you've got the Emperor here as well, that would be a really good way, a good place for you to start, so that you can either eliminate that as a possibility or highlight it as a problem. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, it looks like a lot of you have plans for the future of your living situation. But really this week, it's just about gathering intel. All right, with that said, all in all, if you want to book your personal session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.